we just have introduced the approach of design one gating system in half hour. Now, we come to the second topic: how can we validate the design solution in 1 hour? This is also a key element, even the most important element of the whole design process. Why we talk about Cast-Designer CPI? The question and industry background is there. Cast-Designer help create a gating system within half hour that is really good. However, the experience and knowledge always face some limitation for new material and process. In this case, who can evaluate my design? Who can tell me which one is the best solution? Physical test is one of the traditional method, even if it wastes time and cost, also difficult for some cases. On the other hand, since 10 years ago, some companies began to use the CAE tools to predict the problems and defects of the casting process. Of course, such method is more advanced, however, it still cannot solve the headache of industrial. The traditional CAE simulation software need a good education background and long-term for self-learning and trial. Also, the project lead time from simulation is longer. Very often, the simulation was done by one CAE specialist, but who do not understand well of design, and the designer cannot receive the answer of simulation immediately to update the design on time. It is far from to the time-to-market business in today. Cast-Designer CPI was developed and marketed by this background. CPI meaning is Casting Process Insight. Cast-Designer CPI is a powerful tool, integrated in Cast-Designer system, based on the last CAE technology. It can analyze the metal flow, heat transfer, and phase change in casting process, provide an express, flexible and accurate method for casting system validation. With Cast-Designer CPI, the user is easy to select the right solution. When compared with other traditional CAE method, Cast-Designer CPI, based on upfront analysis, and use innovation technology to ensure the result. So far, CPI is the sole really practical method on the marketing today to support die casting design, because the high-end technology to reduce modeling time and simulation time to a very reasonable time frame, for example, half hour to 1/2 hour. We provide very detailed result for the metal filling process, such as metal flow, air entrapment, velocity, vector and pressure. We also provide a detailed result for solidification process, included temperature distribution, cooling rate, liquid or solid fraction, and shrinkage porosity. Cast-Designer CPI can start from CAD or STL mesh file format. It can repair and heal geometry if it is not perfect. The user of Cast-Designer was not asked a CAE knowledge. The learning curve of Cast-Designer is also short. This is an example of Cast-Designer CPI for filling simulation. There are two design solutions, the above one in simple gating system, and second one in a more complex gating system, to achieve a heat balance. The red color show the hot liquid metal, and blue color is the air, which still not be filled. All the metal flow, air entrapment, velocity, vector and pressure, could be provided by Cast-Designer after the simulation. We do not pay too much time to compare the result, since we do not know well of the background of the project. We only look the model size and CPU time. The first one with around 65,000 elements, and the CPU time is around half hour. And the second plan was with around 60,000 elements, and CPU time is less than half hour. This is the solidification result, includes temperature distribution, liquid fraction or solid fraction, and shrinkage porosity. With this result, we can predict the casting problems and defects easily. The simulation time is very short, both the solutions are less than 10 minutes. Now, we check the modeling and process time of Cast-Designer CPI. We look for the left one. It is a notebook base in hot chamber casting. The original data is step file, the meshing and setup was only taken less than 5 minutes. After that, the whole model with around 38,000 elements, 65,000 nodes in the CPU time is only 1,430 seconds. For the right one, it is a machinery part in aluminum. There were many ribs on the part, so the meshing is critical and not simple in standard way. However, Cast-Designer still finish it within 5 minutes, and the model with around 100,000 elements, and 151,000 nodes, the total simulation time is also only 50 minutes. So, this is our promise to industry: we can finish the first analysis within half hour to 1/2 hour, to achieve the time to market. The workflow chart of Cast-Designer CPI is quite simple. The start point is CAD data. Cast-Designer CPI start from 3D casting, which may come from different CAD systems, such as CATIA, Unigraphics, Pro Engineer, SolidWorks, AutoCAD or others. The standard CAD import and export formats include STEP, IGES, DXF and STL. We also have several extra converters to support natural file format of CATIA, Unigraphics, Pro Engineer and SolidWorks data directly, but the addition license fee is required. Cast-Designer also supports many CAE mesh formats, such as STL, UNV, ANSYS, Nastran and more. Sometimes, if the CAD data come from third parties, and with problem of quality, the build in open Cascade kernel, with full 3D CAD capability, and powerful functions to clean, healing and process CAD data. As we discussed before, Cast-Designer can be used for the 3D casting system design. For a fast design speed and better design quality. This is a major advantage of Cast-Designer. Meshing is a critical issue for any finite elements analysis software, special for casting simulation. Cast-Designer spent more than 10 years to solve this problem, and now the operation is so simple, and result is very reliable. Today, the meshing of Cast-Designer is fully automatically, no any CAE knowledge is required of user. The size of meshing could be controlled in different direction. Moreover, Cast-Designer supports multi-domains. This is a breakthrough technology in meshing process. With this technology, CAD model need not Boolean operation or assembly operation before meshing. This can save a lots of time for designer. There is also special treatment technology for the defects of CAD model or mesh, such as geometry gap, overlay, intersection or enclose. The coarse mesh technology in Cast-Designer is also unique to treat the thin thickness region to avoid huge model or feature lose, and advanced mesh smoothing technology make the meshing match original CAD and geometry. It is very useful for complex shape, like die casting part. Cast-Designer using template and objective concept for CPI setup. This make the setup very simple and easily to make part exchange for an existed CPI model. At first, the user needs to select the casting process, such as die casting, or gravity casting, or investment casting. The template for each casting process was defined inside software. Then, the user asked to define the analysis type. It meaning is filling simulation only, or solidification simulation only, or a couple analysis for filling and solidification. After that, the user can follow the sequence of up to down, left to right, to define the material data, heat transfer condition, and casting speed or pressure. Finally, the parameters to control the simulation and save result. After that, the CPI model is completed. Cast-Designer with a rich material database. The user can select material from database directly. Also, it is possible to generate the own database and manage it. all defined process conditions and parameters could be saved as user template file, and used back at any time. The simulation engine of Cast-Designer, the solver in another word, is very powerful. Based on finite element method, Cast-Designer can perform simulation in fast speed, flexible define and high accuracy. The job submitting interface also supports batch simulation mode to manage multitasks. The post-process of Cast-Designer is very powerful and user-friendly. Our development is based on ParaView platform, so Cast-Designer can handle very big model, and also use the plug-in filter technology in post-process. Same as almost post-process, Cast-Designer can provide rich analysis results in various formats, such as contour, deformation, vector and curves. We also support animation and VRML export for data exchange. Now, we make a summarization of the whole workflow of Cast-Designer. With Cast-Designer, the user is possible to work from CAD data to gate system to CPI model for simulation. Thanks the powerful Cast-Designer solver, until get the first result, the total lead time of Cast-Designer could be controlled within 2 hours. This is really breakthrough, and big benefits to industrials, to save the time and cost at very early stage. Let's look an industrial example to validate Cast-Designer. The major problem of existed casting part was the shrinkage porosity on the rib. It was shown in the photos. Cast-Designer made such gating system in 15 minutes, and perform a CPI simulation in around 40 minutes, to check the shrinkage porosity. It is clear, the simulation result was very close to the actual casting, in the same location, with the same problems. Of course, the task is not only find problem, but how to solve that. With Cast-Design, such problems could be solved in no difficult. This is an industrial example. It is an oil panel of vehicle also. We get the part, and make some simple analysis, then we design the first casting system, included gating and overflow, in 30 minutes. This is mainly based on our knowledge and experience. After that, we perform a CPI analysis. It took around 1 hour. There are some problems on the region of left and right inner gate, with air entrapment. Also, the overflow in the left side is unreasonable, and the right side one is totally not be used. The overflow in the end also need be improved. This is the information we obtained after the first simulation. Based on such information, we make a modification of the casting system. It was only taken 15 minutes. What we do? We add an overflow to the right inner gate, and we remove the overflow of the left side and right side. Then we rerun it in Cast-Designer CPI. As the second simulation result, the air entrapment of right inner gate was improved, but the air in left inner gate was still in there, and seems we need add another overflow to the left side, but with different location. Finally, we make the casting system as displayed, and we still can check it in Cast-Designer. So, this is a working route and methodology of Cast-Designer in real industrial. We also validate more than hundreds casting model in Cast-Designer. The parts covered automotive industrial, machinery industrial, consumer industrial, white electronic application industrial and 3C product industrial. We got very positive feedback from the customer and such results. So, thank your attention of Cast-Designer. Please record our website for more detailed information. You also can contact us, or our authorized worldwide sales network, for more details. It is our pleasure. If Cast-Designer can help you to improve your work, please do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you.